All right. It says I'm live. If you guys can hear me, please let me know and we will get this started. And just fair warning, I did not want to wear this shirt. But like I said, if anybody sends me a shirt, I will wear it on the stream. And Tito or Chandler in the chat did send me a Yankee shirt. It's Aaron Judge, though, so I don't mind Aaron Judge. So that's the reason I am wearing it. I did not bail on Cleveland, so it's unfortunate. But I got to honor my word there. So let me pop the chat out. If you guys let me know you can hear me, and we will get this going. Andre with my loud and clear. Do appreciate that. Should be a fun one today. I'm actually really looking forward to this slate. I do like the shorter flat tracks. They tend to be at least a little bit more projectable from a DFS perspective and fantasy perspective in general. So looking forward to it. Definitely going to be loading up on some lap leaders here. I do think there's some PD traps that we will talk about, but looking forward to it. Yeah, and if you're just not getting here, if you haven't yet already, leave a like on the stream. It does help us out quite a bit. And subscribe if you're new. I'll be here all rest of the year. Sorry, guys. Anyway, yeah, looking forward to it. See a lot of people in the chat already. Hopefully I'm not too far behind, but yeah, I got the all rise here. It's unfortunate. I know Dude's not going to like it. I know he's a big Mets fan, so. But like I said, if you guys send me a shirt, I will wear it. All right, let me try to fly through these a little bit quicker than what I normally do, just because I'm always so behind in the chat, but do appreciate everyone stopping by today. See Ryan here first. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Going well, Ryan. Doing well. Let's go, Blaney. Thoughts on who makes it in? MTJ, Blaney. I'm even feeling Eric Jones. Yeah, I think Eric Jones is a sleeper pick to win Daytona in a few weeks, so I mean, it's possible, but I do think Truex gets the job done today. This is the perfect setup. And I think Blaney's going to be in some trouble. Obviously, he could win Daytona. He could win the road course. So we'll see what happens. But this is like the dream setup for Truex. Because if he does not win Richmond, I'm having a hard time seeing him pick up another win here before the playoffs start. I mean, obviously, it's his best track. Great pit crew, good track position, strong in practice, and just absolutely incredible here. So it's hard not to see MTJ at least contending. I mean, I really do think he wins today. He's obviously the favorite for a reason over in Vegas. So, I mean, personally for me, I think MTJ gets in and Blaney's going to be in some trouble, I think, unfortunately. Anyway, he says, what's your cash game must plays? A lot of fast practice guys that qualified poorly. Who are your favorites in that group? Kyle Busch, Elliott, Reddick, Amarola, Cindric, Suarez. Thanks as always. So for cash games today, I am building around Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr. for my two DOMs up top. Yes, I know Chase, Elliott, Kyle Busch do offer you that place differential upside, but I mean, that's great. Their floors are fine, but it is harder to pass these track types, and I'm worried about their lack of lap-led potential fast laps. I mean, yeah, if Kyle Busch finishes top 10, that's a solid fantasy day, but let's say Martin Truex Jr., he doesn't have quite the PD upside, but he leads 100, 200 laps today. He's going to easily outscore some of those guys, which is something he does quite often here at Richmond. So I'm kind of more leaning towards the guys up front as far as the higher price individuals go. And then Eric Amarola, Austin Cindric, those guys are going to be very popular in cash as well. What's up, Travis? What's good, Chris? Let's get that green today. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm hoping for some better luck today. The past 2 weeks, Christopher Bell has absolutely killed me. Obviously, I didn't play a ton of Christopher Bell at the road course, but he ended up having the issue at the end, which caused the caution. They had to re-wreck the cars, and obviously we all know what happened. And last week, took out Chastain, which not a fun time for me at the end of the race last week. That's 2 weeks in a row. I was winning tournaments on FanDuel, and at the end just got absolutely screwed. What's up, Geb? Or Jeb? I always forget how to pronounce that, but I'm noticing you. I'm noticing you. John says, good morning, Chris. Question. Good morning to you as well, John. If Eric Jones finished 5th place, would he pay off in a cash game at his price point? I think if you're playing Eric Jones in cash, it's very risky. You do not need to do that in cash games this weekend. I would much rather go with guys like Austin Cindric and Eric Amarola at cheaper price points. They're much safer in cash. They did show some speed in practice. Got to keep in mind that they were in that first group, which did get a bit skewed. And we'll talk about the practice numbers if you guys want to at some point. But I would not make practice be the end-all, be-all this weekend because the first group definitely had a pretty good track advantage, and then the second group is much slower, so you kind of have to stagger those a little bit. But Eric Jones in cash, well, 5th place, yeah, that'd be a pretty good day. It's just there's a lot of downside for him in cash games, so I would not go that route. Rick says, didn't get to watch practice or qualifying with some good plays over on FanDuel. Well, on FanDuel, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be pretty much similar guys. Going to have a ton of Truex, ton of Hamlin, a lot of Bell, Chastain. It's basically all the same guys for the most part. If there was somebody that I might be heavier on FanDuel than I would be on DraftKings, I'll probably get to some of the PD guys more, like Kyle Busch, Elliott, and Reddick a bit more, just because the dominator points aren't as abundant over on FanDuel, so that does make them more appealing to me, if that makes any sense. But it's pretty much all the same guys. Tito says, Judge, yep, I got it on for you. I told you I'd wear it. But never again. I might have to burn the shirt after the stream. Got my Wrenchman Dude here. It's been a while, but nice to have you. Nice to have you here. See, Austin says, I can't believe C-Pen dumped his Indians and jumped on the Yanks. Yeah, well, that is not factually correct. I'll always back my Indians, that is for sure. Got my man Tater Salad here, better known as Grayson. Good morning. He says, JJ Yelly and Cody were the best cash plays on the slate for sure. I mean, if you're not playing this two in cash, I'm not sure what you're doing today. And you got to pair them with McLeod. You got to get Corey LaJoy and Todd Gillen mixed in there as well. Dustin says, top two tourney plays. I like Kevin Harvick a lot in tournaments today, and also like William Byron. Those are two of the guys I'm going to try to be overweight on in tournaments. I like the track position for both of these guys. Byron's just really cheap. Dominated Richmond earlier in the season in a similar position, and it's just mainly the price decrease. A lot of people are going to flock to guys like Tyler Reddick and Daniel Suarez because they have PD upside, but I mean, there's a chance Byron's just clicking off fast laps here and there inside the top 5 for the majority of the day, and he could potentially get up front as well. So I like Byron a lot. Then obviously Harvick's been very fast at the short flat tracks this year and was first in group flex speed at Richmond early in the season. I believe he finished second as well. Let's see. Ty Gibbs Future Goat says, tough calls today. Who to play? Yeah, lots of plays today. Lots of plays. I have a ton of Truex exposure. I think in my 3-max, I'm just playing Truex in all 3 and dealing with the consequences. I just really like him today. I like the narrative because he just has to win, and I think this is his best chance to do it. I got a lot of Eric Almirola, obviously. I mean, those are 2 obvious plays. And then, okay, I'm just obviously still crunching around, but as far as lap leaders are concerned, it's mainly going to be Truex, Larson, Hamlin, and Ross Chastain for me, just building around those guys. And I think William Byron can kind of be thrown in the mix there, but he's a much different play because of his price point. What's up, Luke? Hopefully you're having a great day. Ryan says, what's your top fast practice and qualifying plays? Truex and Larson, Hamlin and Larson, Ross and Truex. What's your ideal pairings? So for cash games today, the ideal pairing, in my opinion, is the Truex and Larson combination. Larson leading stage 1. Going to be hard to pass. I mean, I think Ross can definitely do that. I have a lot of exposure to all these guys. In tournaments, I actually have more exposure to Ross than I do Larson, just because I think he's going to be lower owned, and I feel like the upside's quite similar. But if you're playing cash games, Truex and Larson, best way to go about it, I think, in my opinion. Truex can be that stage 2, stage 3 guy. Kyle Larson can lead the laps early on. We've seen the pole sitter at the short flat tracks this year tend to do quite well. So I think that's the optimal pairing. Optimal pairing. Not saying it's the lock pairing, but it's definitely going to look good, I think, today. And I didn't want to play Larson this weekend. I had no plans on doing it, but I mean, he got the pole to short flat track, so you can't ignore it. What's up, Jay Smokes? Another good week ahead, hopefully. Yeah, let's hope so. I'm torn between the last spot. I'm so hesitant on Cindric for some reason. I don't know why. Rolling with Byron, Kyle Busch, Larson, Blaney, and Cindric right now. It's not a bad lineup. I'm going to be a little bit lower on guys like Kyle Busch, I think, today, just because I'd rather get to some of the potential lap leaders personally. They project better for me, but overall, I think it's a solid lineup. Cindric he's been pretty solid at the short flat tracks for the most part this year. The only concern for guys like Austin Cindric, Eric Almirola, Mcdowell, Burton, Haley is that they're going to go laps down in this race. I think obviously Almirola had a ton of speed. I'm not sure how real it's going to be considering he was in that first group, but it seems like he likes his car. And obviously he was first in all the long run speeds there. So I'm not sure he's going to go a lap down. Maybe at some point he does, but even then, I'll be starting so far back in the pack. Even if it does go a lap down, if he finishes like 17th, that's fine. Austin Cindric, he was also fast in practice, but I do have my concerns there. But I think overall it's a fine lineup. Joseph says, hopefully Larson doesn't cut a tire down like last. I saw he brought out a caution. I got the Bob bot over in my Discord, and I read that he had a caution. Hopefully that's not a bad omen for today. But yeah, I do like Kyle. He was second in the second group for practice. And obviously 2 great qualifying sessions there in round 1 and round 2. Luke says, how many dominators are you playing in cash? Also Larson or Ross? Yeah, for cash games, I'm going to go Larson there. I like Ross today. I do. I like all these guys up front. But, I mean, for cash, I just got to take the pole sitter because the path's a little bit easier. And he's going to hang around the top 5 for the majority of the day, at least I would imagine. He's got a great pit crew this year. He's been great on pit road as well, getting in and out. So he should be able to maintain position or at least not get killed on pit road, hopefully outside of any penalties or issues like that. And I would also just play 2 doms in cash personally. I think I'm going to prefer going Truex and Larson. I think a lot of people will go Larson and Elliott. But I just like Truex a little bit more personally. I know Elliott was fast in practice and he's great at short flat tracks, but I just think Truex has a much easier path to getting up front and dominating today. And also, what rules are you setting on Fantasy Cruncher? I would just make a dominator group for the most part. I would say at least 2 of these potential lap leaders, and that group would consist of Hamlin, Truex, Larson, Chastain, and then you can also throw in a guy like William Byron as well. I'd want at least 2 of those guys on my lineups today. Jared says, good to see the Richmond on site. Yeah, they make my job easier. That is for sure. That is for sure. Dude says only a couple weeks until NFL season. Yeah, I usually have to cut off the streams for NFL season just because, you know, everyone's busy on Sundays with football. So looking forward to the next few streams. We'll see what happens. I feel like the first race is on a Saturday for when NFL starts. About to double check the schedule. And oh, as you can see, I have 2 water mugs today, but I had to bring out the Indians mug just because I had the Yankees shirt, just to show I'm not jumping off the Indians train or anything. Let's see. Tito says, stacking up on Joey. Let's go Truex. Yeah, Joey's interesting. I'm not getting to a ton of him just because I feel like him leading laps probably isn't the most likely thing, and I have more interest in Bell and Harvick personally, but he was fastest in the second group. And obviously he's great at Richmond, so I wouldn't talk you off of it. Just the way my projections are rolling and the way I'm building lineups, I'm not getting to a ton of Joey. Under says he can't wait for NFL. Yeah, coming soon. Coming soon. My Browns got the dub versus Jacksonville. Got my Richmond spread here. Appreciate you stopping by. Let's see. Tater says spread. Tater says we're Andy's going to be with family today, I think. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to stop in. We'll see. I'm probably really far behind in the chat, so maybe he's here. I just don't know it yet. White Owl says, feeling some narrative. Blaney and Truex battle this one out. Yeah, I'm not, we'll see if Blaney's got the speed to do it. He did come out later in the first session, so some of his short run numbers weren't impressive, but in the long run, it definitely got a lot better, and he's great at the short flat tracks. Richmond's never really been his greatest track type, but he was good here earlier in the season. I believe he qualified in the pole. Obviously, that's going to help you out, but just the way my lineups look, I'm just not getting to as much Blaney because I have a lot of Bell, a lot of Harvick, and then a lot of Chastain, Larson, Truex, and Hamlin. So it's like, well, some guys got to get filtered out. So not a ton of Blaney. Jason says Larson and Harrison Burton or Chastain and McDowell for DK cash. I would go with the first option there. Go with the first option just to get Larson as the pole sitter. He's going to be higher owned in cash. I'd rather just eat the ownership there. But I like the Ross Pivot tournaments a lot. Clint says, good morning, happy race day. High spread, go Harvick. Yeah, I like Harvick this weekend, Clint. So I know you're going to be happy about that. I think he's a pretty good play for sure. This is all right. Obi says, happy fun day. What's good, Chris? Yeah, what's up, man? Should be a fun day, at least. Oh, I'm hoping it's a boring race. I don't want the exciting races. Every single time it's an exciting race, it's only exciting because my drivers happen to wreck out. So I'd like a nice calm green race. Tire fall off's a thing this weekend. I think that's going to be fun. I hate when there's just no tire fall off and tires don't matter. So I am excited to see some long green flag runs where tires are going to be a bit of an issue. I feel like that's very rare these days, it seems like. But yeah, I think it should be good. Good morning, Ben. Dude says Chris is doing these live streams for free t-shirts. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, I'll take a free t-shirt no matter what. I don't care if it's on it. Can't guarantee I'll ever wear it again, but I'm wearing it right now. The Block Doc says, good morning, Chris. My Dom group consists of Larson. Good morning to you as well. Larson, Hamlin, Truex, Byron, and Blaney. Anyone else you would include? I would definitely get Chastain in your Dom group. I mean, he's got a really fast car. He doesn't usually unload that fast on Saturdays, but qualified well and was obviously very fast in practice. came out later in the session for the longer runs, so I kind of took out his 15, 20, 25 lap runs. But he was first in the 1, 5, and 10 lap, and obviously he backed that up in the fast qualifying session, because obviously we saw the first group was a bit skewed because of the track was much faster, but since he could back that up in qualifying where everyone else was kind of even, I think that shows he's got a really good card today. What's up, Brady Dorito? Thanks again for everything. No problem at all. Smash that like button. Yeah, it goes a long way. I do appreciate it. Tito says, looking sexy as ever, my man. Appreciate it, Tito. You got my wardrobe for today. Charles says, good morning, CP. Good morning to you as well, Charles. Kimani says, Chris, what is your 1 to 3 prediction? Top 3 finishers today? I would say Truex first, Hamlin second, and then third's tough. I want to say Ross. I'd be the guy I'm probably leaning towards, but I think Harvick could sneak in there as well. But I would say Truex, Hamlin, and Ross would be my projected top 3 today. Although I do think my projections actually have Larson third, but it's splitting hairs there. Chris says, cash game, Larson and LaJoy or Reddick and Almirola. Well, I think there's a way you can fit in Larson with Reddick and Almirola, because I've done that, so I would try to find a way to do that. I don't really want to play LaJoy in cash today, though. But if you can find a way to get Larson, Reddick, and Almirola all together, I feel pretty good about that. Dustin says, Big Chris, need all your winners. Hey, me too, Dustin. Hopefully we can find some today. But what's up, my man? Tito says, let's get a 360. Can't see the shirt that good. What? I'm probably far behind. I probably did a little spin there, but we got the Aaron Judge in there. So, if there's one Yankee I like, it's Aaron Judge. Josh says, DK Cash, Truex, Larson, Suarez, Cindric, Almirola, and Mcdowell. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. I do think a lot of people will grab a Reddick in cash, but if you have to drop down to Suarez, I don't think it's a problem. It looks very good to me, personally. I think a lot of people are going to have like Truex, Larson, Almirola, and Cindric, and then cash could end up just being a big 2v2 today. I also think people might go the Larson Elliott route and then grab Reddick, Cindric, Almirola, and I think you have to play Burton at the end there. But I could see that being quite popular. Dude says, Jennifer from Bob, green flag, 317, stages 70, 160, 170, 9 sets of tires, fuel, 120, 130 laps, and no tech today. I do appreciate that. Dude, only a 10% chance of rain, so that's what we like to hear. Had a bit of a rain issue last week, but still got the race in. Chris Palmer says, thoughts on punting LaJoy in cash to get Truex, Larson, Chastain, Cindric, and Mcdowell. I would not play LaJoy in cash today, personally. I like the lineup. I like the drivers in there, but that's more of a tournament lineup in my opinion. I want to go LaJoy in cash. See, my mom's in here. Good morning, Bud. Good morning to you as well from Sanibel Island. Yes, my mom is visiting this week, and her and Jules went to the beach. So I got to be here and work, so I'm a little jealous, but I'm sure they'll enjoy it. Yeah, Logano, not bad today. So honestly, you might be in for a good one today, but I'm hoping he doesn't do that well because I'm not going to have a ton of him for DFS purposes. But yeah, had to change the shirt to get the Yankee shirt on, unfortunately. Dave says, what's up, CP? Who you like best as last guy in? What's up as well, Dave? Burton or Haley for a DraftKings GPP? I think I'd prefer Haley there. They're both pretty similar plays. I have pretty much equal exposure to both those guys, but I'll slightly prefer Haley. D. Travis Miller says, I'm a big Blaney fan too, and it's really upsetting me that he could miss the playoffs with such an amazing performance he's had this season. Yeah, I mean, he's sitting really well in the point standings, just can't get that win. He's been fast this year, just hasn't been able to get the win under his belt. I mean, I kind of like the playoff format, though, because it creates drama. I know it might not be the most rewarding to the drivers that deserve to be in there, because Truex definitely deserves to be in the playoffs, and Blaney definitely deserves to be in the playoffs. There's some guys down low that probably don't deserve to be in the playoffs over those guys for sure, but I mean, it's the drama. It's what makes people want to watch, so yeah, it is unfortunate for Blaney, though. Like, if Truex wins today, he's definitely in a lot of trouble. De Palma says, builds are way too easy today. That can only mean a complete out of left field lineup will win. It's certainly possible. Certainly possible. Something stupid can certainly happen. Definitely possible as always. AJ says, happy Sunday, everybody. Let's get this fast cash. Let's do it. Let's do it. Are Haley and Burton the best salary saving options? They had decent speed and practice for the salary. Yeah, they're probably my favorite cheapish guys. I mean, you can throw in Michael McDowell as a similar play to them. All were pretty equal in practice, but keep in mind, I mean, Burton, he was in that first group there, super fast, just comparatively to most guys, but first group definitely got a bit of a bump there. James says, hey man, awesome channel. Thanks, James. Do appreciate that. Paper says Harvick or Reddick for a single entry. If it's tournaments, I'm going to side with Reddick there. I did the same thing, actually, personally. I could have played either, and I did go the Harvick route. Jared says, is Almirola viable today? Yeah, he's probably going to be the highest owned driver in the slate today. If he's not the highest owned, I would be surprised. But yeah, Cindric and Almirola are going to be very, very heavy chalk. But I mean, even if he didn't qualify 33rd, if Almirola was starting 12th, I'd play Almirola today. He's just really good at short, flat tracks. I was kind of hoping he qualified better to be lower owned and have some track position to work with. It kind of unfortunate he qualified so poorly, but it is what it is. He's definitely viable today, and everyone's going to play him. Keith says Mcdowell. Yeah, McDowell's fine. He's pretty close in my exposures to guys like Haley and Harrison Burton, just to try to mix and match down low. I'm not expecting great things out of Mcdowell, but starting in 34th, as long as he doesn't wreck out, he should gain some spots and contend for a top 25. I don't really love him at the short flat tracks, though. And he's actually kind of awful at Richmond, but I'll play him. I mean, 20th at New Hampshire isn't great. 28th at Richmond early in this, or 30th at Richmond early in the season wasn't great either. But again, starting in 34th at this price point, it's not like you're paying $7K for him. He's just really cheap. Albert says I got Larson, Elliott, Larson. Well, that's a problem. So, okay, let's see. We got Larson, Elliott, Suarez, Cindric, Almirola, and Mcdowell so far in cash. If I played Busch instead of Elliott, who of my other drivers should I pivot off of? If you play Busch in cash, you'd have to pivot off of Elliott because, oh, I see what you mean. Which of my other drivers should I pivot off of? Well, I don't think you'd really have to. I guess pricing would be an issue. I'm not exactly sure what the lineup salary-wise looks like, but you could potentially move McDowell down to like a Burton or something if you wanted to. Tim says, better finish Logano or Harvick. I would go with Harvick there. I think Harvick's a great play. I love him at short flat tracks. And tire wear is going to be an issue, and he's usually pretty good at conserving his tires. Just could kind of like slowly creep up to that top 5 all day. Charlotte says, pick one under $7,400. Almirola. I mean, he'd be the easy pick there. DJ says, what's a good play if you want to fade MTJ? Well, I'd have to know like who your other dominator is. So if you have Larson, I mean, just pivoting to a guy like Hamlin would be a kind of direct pivot there. He's going to be much lower owned, and I feel like the upside's quite similar. Blake says, thoughts on pairing Austin, Dillon, and Wallace in the same lineup for Tourneys? That's fine. They're going to be very low owned, but you can certainly do it. Both have some decent track position today. Bubba starting at 11th. Austin, Dillon, I believe, starting in 12th. So it's fine. I mean, if it's going to be tough to pass, I get it. But they're not going to grade out extremely low in projections today. Let's see. Has anyone seen Molly? No, I have not. Hey, Chris, what's up, bud? Best punt play today. If we just mean like 5K drivers and below, I would say Burton's your best punt. But it's kind of ugly down there. Like McDowell, Haley, and Burton are the guys everyone's going to get to. I don't really like any of them, but you're going to have to be forced to play some of these guys. So I pretty much just put them all at 25% and then let them roll. Ethan King says, DK Cash. I just realized I don't have my light on. I like having my ring light on. Okay, fix that. Anyway, DK Cash, thoughts on Truex, Larson, Reddick. Yeah, that's the lineup I like a lot. Although I think I went Haley over Burton in cash, but I like that lineup a lot. What is my top 3? Like top 3 finishers, top 3 plays, top 3 what? Yes says, I really like Gillen today and I'm scared. You should be scared. He is starting 16th, which is a little tough today. But at the same time, I mean, if track position is going to be king, if he hangs in the top 18, it's not terrible. But I'm not getting that much Gillen. It is very scary. Dustin says Byron, Harvick, Truex, and Larson to start in a GPP. And with 5,700 left for the last 2 spots, I don't like it. Yeah, that's kind of tough. I mean, if you throw in a guy like LaJoy that could get you up to like a McDowell, that might work. But it's not the greatest. Maybe if you dropped Reddick to like a Suarez, or I'm sorry, I'm looking at someone else's message. If you dropped, yeah, I don't really know which route you'd want to go there. It's not great. Carmi says, how's your opinion on the 6 card today? Not expecting a lot. I mean, projection-wise for fantasy purposes, I don't think he's a terrible play. I think he can run well, but the problem is starting in 8th, it's kind of right where his ceiling is. I liked him heading into the weekend, but I mean, he's kind of starting where the ceiling is, which makes it really hard to play for DFS purposes. So could be a top 12 contender, yes, but I'm not sure that's going to get the job done. I mean, you have Almirola starting in 32nd, Cindric starting in 33rd. I mean, even if they just finish 15th, like just for example, looking at the heat map here, let's say Almirola finishes like 20th today. That's 35-ish points. For Keselowski to hit 35 points, he's got to finish right around 8th place, which I don't really completely see him holding his position for the majority of the day. Got a donor from a man spread. Do appreciate that for my 6-pick special. Yeah, 6-pick special today is going to be Castle, Ware, McLeod, Yaley, and then we'll throw in Bubba Wallace as well. But do you appreciate the donor from spread? Can always count on him being here. Jared says, GPP, Truex, Larson, Logano, Cindric, Almirola, and LaJoy. That's not bad for a tournament. Not bad for a tournament. Logano's going to be a little bit low owned today, so don't mind it. The rest is pretty chalky, though. FB says, good morning, CP. What's up, Rick? Spreading due on the wrenches. You know it's some prize pick thought, CP. Not loving prize picks today. I did take the over on Martin Truex Jr. fantasy points. It was sitting at 61.5. Let me see if those went up yet. Nope, still the same. Yeah, Truex is at 61.5. If you think he dominates today, he's going to smash that. He's averaging close to 90 DraftKings points per race here. I think Chastain went from 44.5 to 46.5. Not really loving anything else, to be honest. I mean, the over on NASCAR points for Truex and Hamlin's appealing. Same can be said for Kevin Harvick. He was at 33.5. He went up to 34.5. So, other than that, though, I mean, I'm not loving the price picks today. I think they're kind of sharp. And I swear they're always like one off my lap-led projections, which I don't know how. I don't know if they're looking at them or not, but they're always really close. John says, head-to-head, who finishes better, Blaney versus Logano and Elliott versus Bell? Thanks and good luck today. Ooh, those are very tough. I think Blaney can outdo Logano finish-wise, and then I think Bell can outdo Elliott finish-wise. I just love Bell short flat tracks. Although at the same time, Chase has been very good at them as well. But should a couple spots further up, maybe that helps him out. But slight lean to Bell there. Slightly. Amanda says, yo, hit that like button. What's up, Amanda? Appreciate you being here. And yeah, hitting that like button definitely helps me out quite a bit. Doug says, Chris, thoughts on Larson, Truex, Byron, Almirola, Cindric, and Mcdowell? It looks, I think I built that lineup, to be honest. Doug, I think I have that lineup in my 3-back, so I do like it. But you have the 3 potential DOMs there. I think you could have, I can't remember if you could afford Reddick or not, but I went to William Byron on purpose just to get that 3rd DOM there at lower ownership. So yeah, I like that lineup. Fence Ripper says, go Tanner. Yeah, go Tanner. Who's Tanner? Not sure who it is, but I'll root for him with you. Dave says, do you think playing Larson, Truex, and Elliott in the same lineup? I mean, yeah, you can. I don't mind it. I'm not sure I'm going to go to my way to do it a whole bunch, but if, just projection-wise it fits, I'm not against it. Chris says, Yaley for punt to fit DOMs. I'm not going to personally do it. I was looking at the optimal lineups at the short flat tracks this year, and I just really haven't seen punts working out, so pull it up here. So at Phoenix, lowest price guy was 6,600. That was Daniel Suarez. Richmond, the first race, lowest price guy was $6,800. Chris Buescher. Martinsville, the cheapest guy was Ty Dillon at $5,500. Gateway, Justin Haley at $6K. Nashville, Mcdowell $5,700, and New Hampshire $5,500. Harrison Burton. So, I'm sorry, I have 2 New Hampshires here. Okay, the actual New Hampshire cheapest guy was $6,300, Austin Dillon. So, I mean, we haven't really seen a pump play be optimal at a short flat track this year, so I don't really want to. And it's mainly just been 2 main dominators for the most part. There's sometimes a third guy mixed in, but I don't really want to go down to a punt like JJ Yaley. I don't really see much happening there. And from what we've seen this year, it hasn't been the way to go. Joel says, I just wish I didn't have to pick anyone under 7K. Yeah, it's outside of Eric Almirola, it is pretty brutal down there this week. That's for sure. Outside of Eric. Jake says, Truex on to victory lane. I hope so. I'm going to have a lot of him today. Like a lot. Give me my highest owned driver on both sites. I played him in 3 out of 3 in my 3 max. I like him a lot today. Sarugi says, hello, just got here. What's up, man? Any FanDuel plays you like? Yeah, it's the same guys over on DraftKings. I mean, I like Truex. I like all the Doms. I like Bell. Harvick is, I don't want to call them mid-tier guys, but lower-end, high-price guys. I like Byron at his price point. Oh, Right says, what are your must-have pizza toppings? Also, Coke or Pepsi is a couple fun questions. Yeah, I don't mind the fun questions. Pizza, I'm boring. I just like cheese, although I don't mind sausage here and there. And then I don't drink pop. I haven't drank it since 7th grade, so I think I always drank Coke, though, back then, so I would go with the Coke over Pepsi. That was always a bit better, in my opinion. And no, I don't run a weekly live stream for NFL, but I do the weekly videos. As far as a live stream is, I don't watch any of them, so I'm not 100% sure where to direct you on that. But yeah, I just do the videos for the NFL, not the live streams. Too busy doing the NASCAR at the same time, and then baseball's on early as well. I just don't have the time for it. Chris says, Burton or Mcdowell in cash? I guess I'd go Mcdowell if you had the money for both. I'd go Mcdowell there, just a few spots further back. Tim says, what do you think about Bell being good at these tracks but not good in practice or qualifying? Yeah, I'm not going to put too much into practice and qualifying this weekend. Like, if you were fast, it's fine. Like, it's good that you were fast, but it's not going to be the end-all, be-all for me. Like, Christopher Bell, I don't think is going to suck today. Like, he was 29th in the 5-lap, 19th in the 10. I just can't see him being trash. He's always good at the short flat tracks. He's good at Richmond. He should be fine. Starting in 21st, he's a good play today, in my opinion. Was there another question with that? Or? Oh, there wasn't. Okay. Yeah, I like Bell today, though. Like, I have a lot of him on both sides. And I did squeeze him into one of my 3 max lineups. Tim Bergman says, would you play Larson and Ross in the same GPP lineups? Yeah, I've got them filtered in some lineups together. And that's the thing. People don't like doing that, but it's worked several times in the past. Like, I know, what race? I think it was New Hampshire, where Truex was first and Elliott was second, and those were 2 of some of the best plays on the slate, so I have no problem with that. Got a dono from a man, Jorge. Do appreciate that. Join late to the party, no problem at all. Who are your fave dominators for groups on FC for multi-entries? Thanks in advance for all the information provided. No problem at all. So the groups I would put for dominators today, it would be Truex, Hamlin, Larson, Chastain, William Byron. If you want to mix in guys like Ryan Blaney, you can do that, but I want at least 2 of those guys that I mentioned. I want at least 2 of those guys. Also got another dono from a man Doug here. To appreciate the donos, guys. Just a thanks for your content you provide. Oh, awesome. No coincidence that my ROI has increased in showing your Patreon. Pretty sure you said you like this for cash. It's awesome to hear, Doug. Almirola, Cindric, Reddick, Haley, and our 2 Doms. Yeah, I think that's a really good way to go for cash today. Some people might have a different opinion. It's interchangeable between going with Elliott or Truex in cash games. I personally prefer Truex. I think he's going to be able to get up front. Elliott, there's no guarantee that's going to happen. There's no guarantee for Truex either, but I think more signs lead to him leading laps than Chase Elliott does today. Like, if Elliott finishes 10th, that's fine. It's a safe floor, but if Truex can get up front, I mean, you're going to want him. So, yeah, I do appreciate the dono and kind of right there with you as far as what you're saying. Greg says, what's up, Greg? Who was your favorite punt 7K and down besides AA for GPP and cash? Oh, besides AA? Oh, for GPP, I would say Chris Buescher. For cash, I mean, it's really just whoever I can afford between McDowell, Haley, and Burton, and I would rank them in that order. So David says, I'm more than 2.5 hours in on my work shift, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Ooh, that's rough. You must be on the West Coast then if you're only 2.5 hours in, but wishing you the best to get through it, especially on a Sunday. Franklin says, do you think Chastain will pass Larson in the beginning? Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. He definitely has a really fast car, but as we've seen, tough to pass at the shorter flat tracks this year, and I think Larson is going to lead laps early on, so we'll see if Chastain can hang. Maybe he gives him a little bump and run there. Not 100% sure what's going to happen, but Larson's going to have the preferred lane there. I think if it happens, it's going to be like more so stage 2, because I mean both guys' pit crew has been awesome this year, or maybe they or Chastain doesn't undercut, something like that, or a short pit. So, but I do think Larson leads until we have either pit stops or a caution or something like that. My opinion, but I got a lot of both. C. Austin says, now that Tito figured out you will wear whatever, he will send underwear next. Yeah, not sure we'll go that far. Not sure what the YouTube guidelines are on that. This water is spilling all over me. Let's see. Frank says, can you play Byron in cash today or too risky? I wouldn't personally play him in cash. I like Byron more than Reddick, just overall today, projection-wise, but I think Reddick's a safer cash gameplay. MetroCon says, any teams with brake issues from past race? It's not something I'm really concerned about today. I haven't really heard much of it, so I'm not really like worrying about that. Chris Palmer says, rank these 5 in cash: Cindric, Almirola, Haley, Burton. I saw the dono there. I'll get to there after this question. For cash, I would say Almirola first, then Cindric, McDowell, Haley, Burton. Pretty much ready to go for cash games. But I'm just going to tell you right now, I would not go out of my way to play McDowell over Haley or Burton. It's really just whoever fits. I don't really care either way. Like, if you're 200 short on getting McDowell, like, I don't care. Just play Justin Haley. It's not a big deal. Oh, let me get to this dono here. Do appreciate that from John. Hey, Chris, who is your favorite mid-cost and low-cost GPP plays over on FanDuel? Happy race day, brother. Yeah, you as well. So, mid-cost and low-cost over on FanDuel. Their pricing is always a little bit different. Let me check my sim scores here for guys I'm getting quite a bit of in those price ranges, if I can find them. So, as far as like 9K guys and below, Tyler Reddick pops a lot. Eric Almirola pops a lot. Cindric's there. Harvick's a little bit more expensive. Daniel Suarez. So looks like the one that pops the most though is Reddick and then Almirola, to answer your 2 questions. I do appreciate the dono there, John. Jake says, lowest salary driver you're willing to put in your lineup on draft. I don't really want to go below like Harrison Burton, but LaJoy would be the last guy I would get to. Anything below LaJoy is just getting really ugly. And LaJoy is ugly as well, so. Yeah, piece of LaJoy as well. You pretty much knew what I was saying. Ryan says, who's your lowest guy in? Is LaJoy making the cut or is Burton? If it's cash games, the lowest I would be willing to go is Burton. But just in general today, LaJoy is the lowest I'm getting to. Peter says, C-Pen going to be in the pin when his mom gets back. Yeah, I don't think she likes the Yankee shirt, Tito. Don't think so. Charles says, Truex, Larson, Harvick, Byron, Burton, and LaJoy. It's not bad. I mean, is it my favorite roster construction having Burton and LaJoy? Not really, but if you can hit on those other 4 guys, it's not bad as long as those guys don't just wreck out or something. See, Jake says, Truex, Bell, Gibbs, Wallace, Reddick, and Ty Dillon. So you have Truex as your main dom. I worry about maybe missing out on another dominator up top. Like, yes, you have Christopher Bell, but I think he's more of a stage 3 kind of guy. And I feel like he might be missing out on an early dom there. Like, I feel like that kind of build would make more sense with a Byron instead of a Reddick, if that makes sense. Because I do think we're going to see at least 2 early lap leaders by the time a guy like Bell gets there, if that makes sense. Mark says, favorite prize picks plays for today. I probably already answered that, but I did take the overs on Hamlin, Harvick, and Martin Truex. Chris M says, Burton and LaJoy together in a line for tournaments. It's not my most favorite thing to do, but if you have to do it, as long as you just get in the studs, I don't hate it. 1 second, I gotta Slack something to somebody here really quick. All right, very good. Okay, Chris says, if you were gonna jam in Truex, Larson, and Chastain today, which combo of the three would you want out of Almirola, Haley, McDowell, and Burton? Well, I mean, is it like a pairing question or because it's a combo? If I had to pick my favorites, it's Almirola. Then I would rank it McDowell, Haley, Burton, but they're all the same play to me. It's just whoever fits. You'd have to have Almirola in cash today, though. He's going to be extremely high owned. But for a second I thought it was a cash question, but I think it's a tournament question. Chris Davis says, Truex, Haley, and Reddick, or Elliott, McDowell, and Suarez in cash. I would lean the first one there. The other ones just, yeah, I mean, I like those three drivers, but I do like the more dominator potential with Martin Truex there. Kind of reminds me of Martinsville, where I went heavier on Elliott and William Byron, who were starting like 1 and 5th, I think. And then there was a ton of ownership on guys like Truex. I forget where Busch was, but Hamlin was in the back, and they didn't really move through the field much. And I'd rather get those dominator points. Ryan says, how wasn't Chase Elliott with his practice times not the best play on the slate? He can easily be leading. I wouldn't say easily. And you got to keep in mind, practice is very skewed to this week. I mean, if you were in the first group, you were going to be a lot faster than everybody in the second group. I know I don't have the sheet on the screen here, but if you're just looking at the practice results, I mean, the best guy in stage 2 was like 12th in the aggregate here with Joey Logano, but they just had a big advantage in on the track early on. And yes, Elliott was fast, but I mean, he's going to have to get up front to outscore guys like Denny Hamlin, Chastain, Larson, Martin Truex if they're able to get up front and dominate, because they can rack up 100-plus points. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott, if he does not get up front, which I wouldn't say the path for that is very easy. It's always a little bit tougher to pass at these track types anyway. So, yeah, he's a fine play today. He's going to be high owned. I kind of prefer being underweight and just grabbing the guys that have easier paths to dominating and going to have that track position. Like, I'm fine playing the cheaper PD plays because obviously you don't need them to get up front. But the more expensive PD plays like Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, yeah, safe floors, sure, but I'm not sure they have quite the ceilings. Lorenzo says, hey Chris, what do you think of a balanced lineup in tournaments? No problem with that. A lot of my lineups are pretty balanced per se. Like, I think some of my 3 max, I like my lowest guys in my 3 max Burton. Like, I'm not going like the Yaleys or the Todd Gillens or anything like that. But you still need at least 2 Doms per lineup, at least. Jimmy says, can you start the 1 and 2 starting drivers in the same lineup? You sure can. You sure? I'm not sure if it's been optimal at a short flat track this year. I'm gonna check though. I know New Hampshire was close. Elliott and both Elliott and Truex did quite well. No, Elliott didn't quite make the optimal there because Christopher Bell passed him at the end. But if Bell doesn't pass him at the end, it was going to be a first and second optimal there. Let me see. Martinsville was first and third. Richmond was second and sixth. Yeah, it hasn't been optimal at a short flat track this year, but it's definitely happened in the past. D. Travis Miller says, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Byron wins today and Ty Gibbs gets a top 10. The kid has some serious speed. Yeah, Ty Gibbs is awesome. Obviously a great talent. Won here in the Xfinity Series before. Let's see. Oh, Byron. It's possible that Byron could win. It's not something I would expect, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. Let's see. Josh says, for DK Cash, do you prefer Reddick and Burton or Suarez and Mcdowell? I'd probably go with the Reddick and Burton route there. Probably the Reddick and Burton route. Raper says, morning Chris, cash game, Logano, Elliott, Bell, Harvick, and Keselowski. I wouldn't play Kes and cash today. That's a very risky play for cash. I would try to get probably Larson in there. Harvick's iffy in cash. You're going to want Almirola for sure. Shark. I'm sure they'll let you know, Shark. I'm sure. John says, who will finish higher, Alex Bowman or Daniel Suarez? Probably Bowman today. I mean, he's just got the better track position to work with. Not really necessarily saying he's a better DFS play, but I do think he can finish higher. Kevin says, is Yaley an option in GPP? I have 3% Yaley in tournaments. I mean, if you're playing 20 max, no. If you are playing 3 max, I would definitely say no. 150, yeah, like 3% of your lineups is fine, but I'm not going to go my way to play JJ Yaley. Earl said, have to get Chris a Blaney Fathead for the room. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. I would definitely put a Blaney Fathead up. I used to have those growing up. I love Fatheads. Whole room was Fatheads everywhere. Dude says Blaney Fatheads might be on clearance after he misses the playoffs. Yeah, we might wait a few weeks. Someone might get a nice discount on the Blaney Fathead. Spread says Yaley is never an option in my GPP, Kevin. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it makes things work, but it just hasn't been optimal this year at these types of tracks. Adam says GPP, Truex and Reddick versus Hamlin and Suarez. Ooh. Well, you're going to get low ownership on the Hamlin and Suarez route, so I'll say that, but I'll tell you right now, I love Truex today, but if you're just looking for the low ownership, I'd say Hamlin Suarez. Aaron says, who's your favorite 2 dominators on DK? I could see like 6 to 7 guys. The one that makes the most sense to me, like the pairing, is Larson and Truex, but I believe my exposures of right now have Truex. Yeah, it's Truex and Larson the most. Ross Chastain's right there with them, but in sim scores, I believe also say, yeah, Larson and Truex. So I'd say those are my top 2 right there. Yeah, I can see Larson leading good chunk, if not all, of stage 1. And then Truex could be that guy that comes in after that, stage 2, stage 3, depending on what happens with Ross. Earl says, drinking moonshine. Yeah, you know it. That's what everyone thinks. Frank says, Burton or Haley, last man in. If price doesn't matter, Haley for me. Spread says, Earl, you get him a Blaney Fathead, I promise he hangs it up. Oh, I definitely will. Definitely will. Do they even make those though? I thought we were looking the one time. I'm not sure they had like a great one. Have they made a Kurt Busch flathead yet? Oh, dude, that's a mean joke. It's a mean joke. He's your favorite driver though, so I'll allow it. What's up, Alex? Let's get it. Happy race day. Yeah, happy race day to you as well. Still coughing. I don't know what's wrong with me. Dustin says, thoughts on Truex, Larson, Byron, Jones, Almirola, and Burton. I think that's a really strong tournament build with Byron and Jones there. I don't mind that. Eric says, Cody Ware top 15? Oh, I hope not. I certainly hope not. Carmi says, any thoughts on Bubba Wallace? Not a huge fan here. Just for where he's starting, it does make it a bit tough. I know he's had a lot of speed recently, and I mean, he's just been racking up top 10 finishes, but I'm not going to be huge on Bubba Wallace this weekend. He did finish 3rd at New Hampshire, 12th at Nashville, though, 16th at Martinsville, 26th at Gateway, 26th at Richmond early in the year. I know I have my hopes very high for Bubba Wallace. Would you go Keselowski or Bubba on FanDuel? Let me check my sim scores there. I feel like it's pretty close. It's actually not that close. It's definitely got quite the lean to Bubba Wallace there, so I would say Bubba. Mundo says, thoughts on Gillen, hashtag Gillygang. Not a huge fan of Gillygang today, just starting really far up. Yes, I know track position could work in his favor, but I see him finishing outside the top 20 today. Naomi says, Byron and Mcdowell or Haley and Reddick. If it's tournaments, I would say Byron and Mcdowell. If it's a cash game, I would say Haley and Reddick. Robbie says, is there a second DraftKings contest this week? Oh, thank you for reminding me. Was that Kevin or Robbie? Okay, Robbie. Thank you for reminding me. If I can actually post that really quick, so 1 second. We filled the first one about a half hour, an hour before lock, so I do appreciate that. But if you guys did not get to join the first one, or if you just want to join the second one as well, head to my Twitter right now. I'm at Pennell16, and I am posting the link for the second contest. We've been close to filling it almost every week. I think we filled it once. But let me tweet this out really quick. Okay, so if you want to join, just tweet it out at Pennell16. Shoot me a follow if you haven't yet done so. I tweet like once a month. But we got 80 people in there right now, so just a little bit over half filled. So if you want to join in, make sure you do that. Thanks for the reminder, Robbie. Brian says Gibbs top 5. The Joe Gibbs cars, sure. I'm not sure about Ty Gibbs. Maybe a top 10 finish, but I'm not overboard on Ty Gibbs today. Avery says no love for Custer. I haven't talked about him, but I think I might be a little bit overweight in the field of him this weekend. Starting in 7th, I don't love it. I don't, but I do typically like the Stewart Haas cars at these track types. I just only see him falling back, though, is the problem. Brandon says, who would you play in cash games? Larson, Truex, Almirola, Cindric's a good starting point. Chris Palmer says, do you feel like Almirola is almost the same play as Cindric but cheaper? Well, I'd say, like in a vacuum, I'd say Almirola is a better play. Just I love him at these track types. But yes, he's pretty much the same play but cheaper as Austin Cindric today. I could actually probably put that link in the chat as well. There. Jamie says, what's different between cash and tournaments? And good luck today. Thank you, Jamie. Difference between cash and tournaments. So tournaments, you have a top heavy payout. So in first place gets 100K, second place, I have no idea what it gets, but I don't know, 50K for example. Third place 20, and then it just keeps going down. So you want to try to get different to be able to get first place, take on that top prize. But meanwhile, in a cash game, whether you finish 50th or first, you're getting the same payout. So you're not really trying to be the smartest guy in the room. You're just trying to play the most obvious plays, try to get on high ownership, and then just try to get across the cash line because it pays out on double ups like roughly like what, 44, 43%, compared to a tournament being around like 20-ish%. So that makes sense. So that's why you play differently. Like in cash games, you're not playing Hamlin because he's going to be low owned and there's risk there. You're not playing Byron, but in tournaments, less people play those guys, which means you're going to be less duplicated, and then like their upside. So it's when you get to the guys like Byron and Hamlin. Haley or Burton in cash, I'd go with Haley there. I mean, everyone's got the same question with Haley, Burton, and McDowell. I'm going to be honest, there's no difference between these guys. It's just whoever fits. But, I mean, it's really just all there is to it. I'd rank it McDowell, Haley, and Burton. And whoever fits, that's what I would do. Alex says, who's your favorite of the top 3, Larson, Chastain, and Hamlin? I would rank it Larson, Hamlin, Chastain, I think. They're all like the same play. Projection-wise, I have them all around 75 to 80 points. And as far as my exposures go, though, I have more exposure to Ross. I think Ross and Larson. But for tournaments, I like the low ownership on Hamlin. If that makes sense. Let's see. What's up, Chris? How you feeling? Says Robert. Doing all right. Little cough here and there. Doing some cough drops today. Trying to get better. Not sure what it is, but thank you for asking. Sarigi says Chastain, Truex, Cindric, Harvick, Almirola, and FanDuel. If that fits, it doesn't seem like it fits, but if it does, I like it. I like it. Who is your least exposed / favorite drivers on DK? I am on DraftKings. I am pretty low on guys like. I don't really have any Stenhouse, any Brisco, really low on Keselowski just because of the starting spot. I'm pretty low on guys like Kyle Busch just because of the price, and I just don't really see him dominating today. And as far as favorite is, I mean, I love Almirola, love Truex, like Larson, Ross, Cindric. All those guys grade out very well for me. Byron or Suarez? If it's a tournament, Byron. Cash game, Suarez. What's going on with Kyle Busch, says Ryan? Just kind of got an unlucky spot for qualifying where he was in that slow session, really. He's not going to be 30th place bad, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to get up front and dominate. I will say I think his grandma's coming to the track today, so I'm not sure how much grandma narrative plays into things. So maybe I should bump him up a little bit. Flex says, dang, Chris turned black. Nice tan. Yeah, I tan a lot. Love going out to the pool and the beach, so I do get pretty tan. Matt says, any love for Suarez on DraftKings? Yeah, he's fine. I'm going to try to get around 20-ish% today as far as exposures are. Bruce says, Larson, Logano, Blaney, Harvick, Suarez, thoughts for a FanDuel tournament? I can rock with Larson. Logano, Blaney's fine. Not my first choices, but it works. Harvick, Suarez. Yeah, that's fine for a FanDuel tournament, Bruce. No problem with that. Salson says they're talking about replacing Kurt Busch with... you almost got me, but no. Nice try. Nice try, coach. Luke says, hey, Chris, hope you have a great day, man. Don't care for your shirt. I don't like it either. Trust me. I don't like it at all. I'm only wearing it because it was a gift. So what's your thoughts on like the rope for, so who do you think leads the most laps today? Oh, who I think leads the most laps today? My projections, I'll kind of click them off to here. So as far as potential lap leaders go, I have, for Dominator points, I have Larson getting the most Dominator points. I got Truex second, Hamlin third, and Ross fourth. That's what I got them as the main Doms today. I know, super surprising list there. The whole top three and the guy in sixth. That's really good here. Kenny says I'm getting a lot of PD lineups, but when I set my exposures as bad. Yeah, you want some guys up front. Like, it's fine to have PD, but you got to make sure you get a couple of drivers starting close to the front that can lead laps, because we have nearly 300 Dominator points this week. And if you're not rostering Doms, you're just not going to win tournaments. What's up, Landon? I think I knew... is that a new profile picture from last time you were here? I think so. Anyway, lots of big names starting in the 20s. Yeah, sure is. I mean, you got Busch, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez in the 20s, Tyler Reddick's in there. Missed anybody yet? Christopher Bell. Yeah, 20s look pretty stacked today. That's for sure. Joseph says, is Brisco worth a shot? I'm hoping not. I don't have much Brisco today. Chris Palmer says, yeah, I didn't fall for it, though. I didn't fall for it. Eric says, Hamlin, Chastain, Harvick, Suarez, McDowell, and Ware. I mean, outside of Ware, I like it a lot. Joel says, Buescher, McDowell. I'm thinking McDowell for PD upside, but I feel like Buescher is going to finish better. I would agree. If you're playing tournaments, I think Buescher. Cash games, obviously McDowell's safer, but I'm going to be honest, McDowell projects a lot better for me today. Amanda says, why did my chat get retracted? It wasn't. Is spread retracting messages like Andy was the one day? I swear the one day Andy had like 40 messages retracted from one guy. I think his name was Kyle. I guess he was spamming the chat though. Richard says, who are your favorite two Doms for cash? Me personally, it's Larson and Truex. Jake says, Harvick, Reddick, or Byron for a DraftKings GPP. Assuming you already have two guys inside the top 10, I would say Harvick there. If you don't have two drivers in the top 10, I would roll with Byron. You're welcome, Jimmy. Spread says you had to delete it. Jesse says, Blaney, Larson, Bowman, Almirola, and would you finish it with Elliott or Truex? That's tough. I mean, you have two Hendrick cars there, so I almost want to say Elliott, but I got to go with my man Truex there. I love the ceiling on him today. AJ says, Almirola, Blaney, Byron, Custer, Hamlin, Kess for GPPs. That's definitely a low-owned lineup, so if you're playing tournaments, I would say that's fine. Tim says that Gregson qualified too high. Yeah, I'd say qualified a bit high. It's maybe worth the look as like a low-owned flyer, but I'm not overly excited about it. Also, almost 100 people in the second contest if you want to join in. Still got about 3 hours until lock. Matt says, thoughts on Almirola, Cindric, Haley, Reddick, Larson, and Truex. So you have Larson, Truex as your main Doms, Reddick. Oh, that's like the cash lineup this week. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine in cash. In tournaments, though, I'm trying to get a little different because that's extremely chalky. Chris says, is Bowman a potential lap leader? Yeah, he's got the potential to lead laps, but I wouldn't say it's nearly like guys like Truex, Hamlin, those kind of guys. I did give him some lap lead points in projections. Let me see exactly what I gave Bowman today as far as Dominator points are concerned. So I gave Bowman, where's he at? I gave him 15.5 laps led and 10 fast laps, and around a 12th place finish, which I don't think actually equates to a 12th place finish. As I always say, it's like for first, I have Truex finishing at 6.86. So might not be that bad. AJ says, Custer, good leverage or a wasted click? It's probably a wasted click, to be honest. I have a little bit of Custer, but not in my 3 max. Tito says, give me a let's go Yankees and Indians are the worst team in the league, or you're getting a Biden shirt next week. And I know you don't want to make Coach mad. I can't do it, Tito. And I also think you're bluffing. I don't think you're going to do that. But that would also be a disaster if I did. If you did, so. Not sure. I think I'm going to not say the let's go Yankees and Indians are the worst team in the league. I just think you're bluffing. Got a super sticker from Amanda. I'm sorry it didn't show up until just now, but I do appreciate that. Or I think she's going by Mandy these days in Discord. I do appreciate the dono, Tito, but it could be a dangerous game. Where are we at? Twin Ball says, DK single entry GPP. I have Ross already. Last spot, Truex, Hamlin, and Larson. If you have Ross, I'm going to go with Truex there. I'm going to go with Truex. And it says, boo tweeter, I don't have Twitter. You don't have Twitter? You gotta have a Twitter. Everyone's got Twitter these days. That's how I keep up on the news. What's going on? Chris says, Austin Dillon, he's good at Richmond. He's just starting really high is the problem. Definitely only a tournament play for me. JR says, Almirola, Harvick, Logano, Bell, and Larson on FanDuel. That's not bad. I'm fine with that. Michael says, Truex, Larson, Hamlin, Jones, Haley on FanDuel. So over on FanDuel, you don't really have to get down to those cheap drivers like Justin Haley very often. It also doesn't work a lot, so I'm probably not going to go the Haley route there. Mean Row sent me a sticker, man. Oh, that was Mean Row. Well, thank you, Monroe. Do appreciate that. JR says, how much Bell are you using today? Good amount. I have about like 30% on both sides. And he did make one of my 3 max builds, so. K Diddy says, hit that like button, America, USA. Yeah. 1 like is 1 like for America here. Tito says, I know you didn't just say you don't like my shirt. I don't like what's on it, Tito. It's a nice shirt. It's a Nike shirt, but I just don't like what's on it. It's awful. I hate the Yankees. Yeah, I got a grandma narrative today. Let's see, JR says, big on Joey Logano today. He was fastest in the second group, starting 17th. It is a good track for him. I get it. I have more exposure to Harvick and Bell personally, but I wouldn't talk you off Joey. JR says, watch your shows for about 1.5 years now. Appreciate that. That's awesome. This is the best DFS show out. C-Pen is the man. Thanks for all your advice, bro. Nice words. I do appreciate that, man. You guys make it fun for me, though. I'm just here to answer questions. Alex says, so Larson, the move for head-to-heads. I would play him in head-to-heads, personally. I think he's a good cash play. Because if he leads like the first stage, you're going to want him in your cash lineups. And if he doesn't, a lot of people probably already have him anyway, so it's not the biggest deal. But I would imagine he's in the top 5. Just picking up fast laps periodically throughout the day, even if he's not leading laps. That is true, dude. That is true. Be sure to hit the like button. Yeah, I'm probably about done here. I am catching up to the chat. Do have some FanDuel lineups to build. Haven't done the 150 yet. But if you have any last-minute dire questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those for you. Let's see, best mid-price driver on FanDuel. A mid-price, it's kind of hard for FanDuel mid-price because their salaries are so much different. I would say Reddick's the guy I'm getting to a lot of, but Harvick, Byron, Reddick is a really nice trio there. Andre says Twitter a must for all sports news and related info. Yeah, it's basically what it's best for, really. I don't like to tweet much, but I do like to lurk on the Twitter. Carmi says, how about the 16 car today? I don't think Gregson's going to be awful, but he's just kind of starting a bit high. Brandon says, what cheapies do you like on DK, brother? McDowell, Haley, and Burton are the ones I get to the most of for cheapies. What's up, Corey? Thoughts on Keselowski? What are his chances of making a top 10? Top 10's a bit tough there. I'd say more of a top 12, top 15 contender. But for fantasy purposes, it's just kind of tough starting in 8th. Probably a better play over on FanDuel than he is DK. How am I feeling on Blaney? I think he's got some decent long run speed, but I don't really see him dominating over the likes of guys like Larson, Chastain, Truex, or Hamlin today. Thanks, Pennell. You're welcome, sir. Jim says, hi, Chris. I have 4 drivers. Bell is 7-1, Kyle Busch 7-1, Hamlin 1, Truex 7-2. What value would I go with to bet to win? I mean, I would probably just bet Truex to win the day personally. Yeah, no problem. I'll see you there in Discord, Rick. Always a fun time in there. No problem at all, Carmi. I think I caught up. Do appreciate everyone being here. Leave a like on your way out if you haven't yet already. Watch the preview video if you haven't yet. Post that a little bit later on in the week. Obviously, you can always check out the Patreon if you want lots of extra content over there. That being said, I'll get out of here. Appreciate y'all being here. See y'all next time.